Let's get started.
All right, everybody, and welcome to the Bonus Stage Podcast, episode number 23. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me and stopping the dryer, Jeff Ward.
Hello.
I didn't have anything else witty to say because I didn't want to talk about parking tickets again.
Yeah, the
would've-
dryer thing is like a way to start
destroyed
the
the
show
show.
off on the most boring, monotonous, eating a bowl of vanilla ice cream and doing the laundry.
Yeah, I should go
Jeff?
get some ice cream. That would be good. That would actually be really good. Jeff, how's it going, my friend?
It's going good. I'm friggin' tired. People in the live stream probably see that I look like a bag of shit, which is 9 out of 10 live streams we do. I look like a bag of shit. But, I'm
made
of
the
the
joke.
Lowest grade shit you could look, I think, at this point.
Wow.
It's been a super long week. I haven't had that much sleep. And today was a big day, ton of work. And very little gaming, unfortunately, because there's a lot of stuff I want to play. I just haven't had time, which is always kind of a drag to come here every week and say, hey, what'd you play this week? Nothing. Now your turn. It kind of sucks, but that's the reality of it.
You're growing up, Jeff. You're growing up.
I know. It sucks. It sucks. It's weird, though, because you are apparently grown up and you seem to have a ton of time to play games.
No, I just use my time very, very, I don't know, very well, I guess. I know kind of how to compartmentalize everything into bite-sized chunks. And I do gaming. I don't do marathon gaming anymore. I do small, easy to digest little gaming appetizers, I guess.
Gotcha.
But it's good. It's good. And in the chat room, an understanding wife. Exactly. That's another big thing that I have.
So, NyQuil Dreams called me a lovable bag of shit. That's
you should get a t-shirt that says that.
If I hadn't called myself a bag of shit, I wouldn't think that was a compliment. But because I did, now it's a compliment. So thank you. That's very
you
kind
polished
of
the
you.
turd as you might say.
Which you can't ever do,
the turd.
apparently.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you had a great week. I also had a really great week. I got a new phone because my phone died. So that was
iPhone 5?
That was amazing. Yeah, I did get an iPhone 5.
Nice.
I kind of dig it. I really kind of dig it. I don't like the new connector. I don't like apps that aren't properly sized for the new screen, but I kind of like my iPhone 5. Battery life is really crappy compared to the iPhone 4 that I had.
No good.
Yeah, but I like the fact that apps actually load now and are of usable speed, which is a big bonus. So that was pretty cool. I had the day off work today, which was great. So I was supposed to do gaming all day, and then my car broke down and brought it in to get looked at. So that was an awesome way to ruin my day. But but things are back and things are good and everything is good. It's the weekend, man. It's going to be
that car thing could have turned out a lot worse too.
It could have. Yeah, it was basically no charge, which was better than it sounded because it sounded really, really bad. It sounded like your dryer when it was running earlier, except with more shoes and bricks and like crying animals. It was just a really bad sound.
You say more like there's those things in there, just a very small amount of them right now in my dryer.
You don't put a brick in your dryer when you put it on?
No, not anymore.
You're doing
when
it wrong, man.
When I do the stonewash jeans, obviously, But
You're
and
doing
I
it
haven't
wrong.
I haven't put the cat in the dryer in a long time. So
You're not living then. Jeez.
I think it's staticky, and he's shorting out light bulbs. And
yeah, but they
circuits
stick to the wall after it. It's the perfect thing. So you just stick them to the wall. Yikes! Awesome. So yeah, that's been my week, but I did get a little bit of gaming in.
That's good.
What do you say we want to talk some gaming, or you want to talk about other boring stuff and parking tickets?
Yeah. Let's
chat
ignore
room.
the boring
What
stuff.
should we do? What should we do?
Yeah. Hot dog Trevor.
Hot dog
Trevor's
pizza.
I think that's funny that people now know you as Hot Dog Pizza.
That's
really
amazing.
funny.
That is amazing. Oh, wow.
So this week, again, I haven't played much. I played a little bit of Call of Duty last night. and I've been playing MLB 12 The Show because it's baseball season starting to get up, so I'm getting really excited and just playing some baseball. But what I've done the most amount of time on has probably been 90% of my gaming this week of the small amount I've actually played. Has been devoted to Legend of Zelda on the 3DS. I just beat the Forest Temple today, so I have done quite a bit of work on it since we last talked, and I'm just so surprised at how well the majority of that game is held up. The things that suck in it, which is, like I said last week, still the targeting system kind of falls apart every once in a while when you get your back up against a wall and the camera doesn't know what to do. And some of the enemies, like, it's almost mandatory that you die the first time because their attacks are so powerful that they don't give you enough time to figure out their attack pattern before you're dead. But those are kind of minor things. I mean, we're talking about an N64 game, so it's like the first 3D Zelda. It was doing so much. To get only a few things wrong is still really impressive, and it's such a fantastic friggin' game to play on the 3DS. It's unreal. Like, if you have a 3DS and you haven't played this game, you are doing yourself a disservice. I'm actually surprised at how good the 3D is as well too. Sometimes because you kind of move the thing around a little bit sometimes and it ruins the 3D, and I just turn it off or whatever. But sometimes when it goes into like a cutscene, the 3D is really well done. It's really well handled because the camera is pre-programmed to do certain things and it's not swinging around all the time. So I'm having a blast with it. I'll probably have it beat in the next couple of weeks unless I get stuck. Yeah, it's I'm so glad that Carly bought it. She still, by the way, has not got a chance to play it. And not because I'm keeping it away from her. I keep asking her, like, you should play it. She's like, She's playing Chrono Trigger right now on her DSi, so.
Nice.
Yeah. But it makes me look like an asshole. Like, she bought the damn thing. And she's like, well, I bought it for us. And she has not touched it.
Wow. She could buy things for us, being me and her, and then I'll just take them if she wants to get into that habit. I mean, that's a good habit to have.
Awesome. You know what? You're going to talk about it. So if you want to talk about it right now, I downloaded the demo for that Castlevania game.
Yep.
You're right. It sucks.
It does. The demo was horrible.
It was really bad.
And after I talked about it, I got about 3 or 4 emails and some forum posts, and people said give it another chance. I got some tweets as well, so I was contacted across the different ways that I could be contacted to say give it another chance, give it a try. So I ended up picking up the game and playing it, and I've played about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it's actually not that bad. It's not as bad as the demo. I don't know, makes you think it's going to be, I guess.
Yeah.
It's really kind of chunky. The controls are
bad.
Really kind of off. The controls in the full release are solid, and it's not as framey as the demo is. So I don't know why that is. You'd think they would just be pulling a chunk out of the actual game code. So I don't understand it, but I don't know. It works for me. I'm enjoying it. You don't start as the character in the demo. You start as, or I guess you do start as that character, but then you're over as Simon Belmont, which is, or is it Simon Belmont or Richter Belmont? I can't remember who you are, but you're one of those characters.
Yeah.
So you have an actual whip instead of that chain thing that
the vampire killer.
Yeah. So I don't know.
That weapon sucked, and like the demo was just, it felt like it was a beta or something. Then I guess if the game is so different in control, like when I was playing it, I was like, okay, well, I'll give it a few screens to kind of figure out, right? And that first screen before you even go into the castle is like, you have to hit these guys like 15, 20 times before they die. And I'm like, this already sucks.
And the funny thing is when you're in the demo, the first time you level up, you go from like level 3 or 4 or whatever you are to like level 16. It's like, okay, that's odd. And then you take on bigger beasts, which weren't fun at all. The boss battles in the game are kind of hard, where you are basically, you have to be almost perfect. It's almost like old Castlevanias, where if you get hit, you're in trouble, and if you get hit a bunch of times, you're dead. It's kind of like that again, which is kind of nice because I really like that aspect of Castlevania, but I'm not that far in, obviously, only playing like an hour, so I'm going to play a little bit more tomorrow. But I don't know. I'm digging it, man. It's not as bad as the demo led me to believe, which is probably a really good thing, because I thought it was going to be horrible.
Yeah, I would totally think that it would be horrible. I'm surprised that you went and picked it up, but I'm glad that it's better, because Castlevania deserves better. It's such a great series, and I love the side scroller Castlevania. And it, you know what, it looked really good in the demo. So
Yeah,
I was kind of
yeah.
disappointed because like this game looks really awesome. It sounds cool. When you're walking up to the castle and it like pans out and you're tiny on the screen, I was like, whoa, that's cool. That's a really cool effect.
Yeah, it's the one thing that I kind of don't like, and in the chat room, Nyquil Dreams is saying, shouldn't the demo be a good preview of the game? And yeah, which is,
Yeah,
I don't understand this demo, to be honest with you.
very
The,
underwhelming.
yeah, it's, I don't know. I kind of dig it. I kind of do, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, I guess. Other stuff. I've been playing some Tomb Raider.
Nice.
I'm almost to the end of Tomb Raider. I didn't get enough time this week to play it.
I want to pick it up so bad.
It is so really good. So good. So good.
Is it good?
It's okay.
Okay.
It's passable.
I do that every time when you like repeat it and then I ask you if it's good and you're like, nah, it's fine. It's such a staple now. If anybody is like updating the bonus stage wiki, that's got to be on there as one of our stupid cliches that we do.
Yeah. Oh, I just kicked my camera. But it seems to have gone back where it should have, so that's good. Yeah, it's really good. The one thing that's not good about it is multiplayer. Multiplayer is horrible, to the point where I don't ever want to play it again. Excuse me. It reminds me a lot of playing first-person shooters online when I still had a modem, because people are flashing in and out, they're blinking all over the place, they're moving in and out of existence. It is just a horrible, horrible way to play multiplayer. And the other thing that really sucks is the more you play, the more you level up, and the more you gain access to the more powerful weapons. So the better people have better weapons, which isn't like Call of Duty. Like when you level up, or like Modern Warfare, you don't really get access to better weapons. You get access to weapons that have like different features or whatever, but they're not like more powerful necessarily, but they give you different mods and things like that can make them more powerful.
Yeah.
This is like you go from using a bow and arrow made out of like sticks and twine that you found to using like a competition longbow that can like destroy somebody. It's like, okay, this is not fun. This is not fun at all. Like you walk out and you get an arrow in the head and you're dead. Yeah, I don't know.
It's just like you start out like you're level 1, you're just balling up leaves and throwing them at characters,
Totally.
and they're sawing you
You're
down with
coughing at
guns.
them and hoping that you do some damage.
It's
And
like, oh my god, I got the flu and I'm in the jungle.
oh, it's just I don't like the multiplayer. And unfortunately, a lot of the achievements or trophies are tied to multiplayer.
Yeah.
So I've come to the realization that I'm never going to platinum this game, which is like getting all the trophies on the PlayStation 3. It's just I'm not willing to grind away as long as I'm going to have to buy all the stuff and get all the characters. So so that was a quick try just to break up, because I'm really close to the end of the game, and I guess I kind of wanted to extend it. I do that an awful lot where I get close to the end of a game that is really good and it's like, I don't want this to end. Let's do other meaningless stuff to extend my gameplay. So I did that a little bit with Tomb Raider, but
Well, you know they've got to be, putting together some DLC or something for it.
Yeah,
You know,
they're already talking about it. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
the first DLC that was announced it looks like nothing more than multiplayer maps. So
Frick.
useless to me. Yeah, I don't.
Those
I
are
don't
always
know.
throwaway, because really, what does it take? You've already designed the entire game. Most of the time, they're just tearing hunks of the actual game campaign map and just throwing them into multiplayer. It's brutal.
Yeah, it's it's not fun. Multiplayer like that is just crap. But I'm really loving the game. I think I'm gonna finish it off tomorrow, and then maybe replay it again, because there were some really good parts in it. A lot of Jay Carguth in the chat room said that he saw the Conan clip where she gets her throat impaled.
Oh, and that like waterfall or whatever, you're like sliding down. Yeah.
I didn't see the Conan clip, and that happened to me in the game. Like you get it, you're basically coming down like these rapids, and you have a shotgun, and you're shooting these sections to go through, and you come off of a waterfall, and you hit the ground. But if you don't go over to the side a proper amount, you basically like slide by this like, I don't know, stick that's sticking out, and it actually impales you like right underneath your chin, and it comes out the back of your head. And I'm just
vicious.
like, I that happened to me, and I'm like, holy shit! I was just like freaking out. Like it was the most visceral thing that I've ever seen.
Your kids are beside you, horrified and crying. They're like, "What the hell, Daddy?"
Thankfully, after a couple times, couple things. I don't play that game with the kids around anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that and I was just like, whoa, what the hell what was that? Like, what did they do? So it really actually kind of affected me. Not like I didn't start crying in a corner or anything, but it was just like it like just the viciousness of what happened was just like, holy crap.
Especially if you're not expecting it, right? And you're just like, oh, maybe I'll just bounce off it like any other video game logic.
Yeah,
and
it was like
huge wooden posts.
It all happened so fast, so I didn't expect it to be something so damaging to my character's well-being, unfortunately. Or I guess fortunately it was, because now we're talking about it. But yeah, it was it was interesting. So
man, you haven't played Far Cry 3 yet, have you?
No, it's another game I want to pick up. It's on my list. It's just...
You know what? If you want to lend me Tomb Raider, I'll lend you Far Cry on the Xbox if you're interested in playing it there.
I would love to, except I can't because it's a digital download.
Oh, you got the digital? Okay. Well, if you still want to borrow Far Cry, I'll let you play it because it's really good, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. Definitely. So I've been playing Tomb Raider, almost ready to finish that one, which was great. And... what is it? Fire Emblem. I've been playing a little bit. I've almost finished all of the marriage things that you have to do to unlock all the kids. So I've almost gotten all the content unlocked that you can possibly unlock, which has been fun. I'm not playing it as much as I used to, but jumping in and out, which is great. As I said, I downloaded Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate. Unfortunately, this game pretty much filled up the rest of the room that I have on my SD card in my 3DS. So I had to delete stuff. I had to delete Super Paper Mario and a bunch of other games. So I'm actually looking... this is a 4 gig that it comes with. So I'm going to actually go pick up a 32 gig and move all my stuff over so that I can have more games on it. Because Castlevania is a large game. So and
How big?
I think it's like a gig and a half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really big. It's in blocks. Nintendo does blocks. It's like 11,000 blocks or whatever. Yeah, it is... It is very, very big. So been playing that. Hopefully I'll have some more to talk about that next week. And I've also been playing a game on my iPhone and iPad called Ridiculous Fishing. It's a Vlambeer game, and it is I guess it's a game that was released as Radical Fishing on the PC, and then there was this game that hit the iOS App Store called Ninja Fishing, which I played and I loved. And then I heard all the furor that was happening online that this was a huge ripoff of Radical Fishing, but I hadn't played it, so I didn't know it was a ripoff. Essentially what you're doing is you're dropping your lure into the water, and it goes down constantly, and you're moving your phone left and right to kind of move your lure out of the way of fish, and you have to get as deep as you possibly can. And once you do, you basically hook a fish, and then your line gets reeled in, and you have to catch as many fish on the way back up. And with Ninja Fishing, the fish would jump in the air, and then you'd slice them with your finger, which was a lot of fun because it was kind of like I don't know, Fruit Ninja or whatever.
Fruit Ninja, yeah.
This game, you shoot them with guns, so you're actually like tapping on them to shoot. You can unlock like machine guns down the road where you're just like touching the screen and moving your finger around. It is so much fun. It's probably one of the best $3 I've spent on the App Store in a long time. If you have an iPhone or an iPad, particularly the iPhone, it plays really well on the iPhone. You need this game. It's getting 5 out of 5s everywhere. I gave it a 5 out of 5 on the TOG, which hasn't been posted yet. Go get this game because it is awesome, awesome, awesome.
Kurt Gardner did the trailer for that, didn't he?
Yeah, it was the first game trailer that has ever been done with Vine. So it's a 6-second game trailer, and it was it's awesome. Go get the game. It's like I said, $3. Do it.
Apparently, it's doing really well too.
Yeah, and it should. It's released on iOS. It's released on Android. It's on Steam, I believe, nice. And might be in some other places as well. So yeah, if you have an ability to get Ridiculous Fishing, go do it. It is an awesome, awesome, awesome game. So check that one out. And yeah, I think that's about it, man.
That's a big week for games, man.
It
You're
is.
making me kind of jealous. I'm like, I played 2 games and I didn't play them for that long. Work.
One day I'll teach you my secrets.
Your secrets.
My time compression secrets.
It's called get a good job that pays well so you can relax when you get home.
Yeah, that works too. But then I have kids, which takes away the relaxing when I get home, right?
Yeah, but
not that it's not relaxing.
The part is that also get a wife to take care of the kids half the time.
Oh, I wish that was actually the case. That is not the case. Yeah, cool. All right, let's get into let's get into welcome to adulthood, Grumpy Cat in the chat room. That's awesome. All right, let's get into new releases. So we've had a couple big releases this week. We saw God of War Ascension came out. Do you have anything to say about God of War Ascension?
We talked about this one last week. Obviously, a big AAA title, and
I don't think I'm gonna get it.
I don't think so either. I don't really. I have the God of War collection with 1 and 2 on the PS. No, wait, I think I gave that away. I think I sold it. I'm just not into it. I don't think they're bad games, but I've never been into the kind of game where it's like you just, like Devil May Cry or a game like that where it's just a hack and slash kind of thing, like Ninja Gaiden and stuff.
Yep.
I've never been into that kind of style. I don't think there's anything wrong with the game. It's just not for me. It's doing really well. It's getting pretty much solid 8s around the bend.
Yeah,
so
it's got an 80 on Metacritic right now on 60 reviews, so it's doing really, really well. NyQuil Dreams in the chat room says the whole Bros Before Hose scandal came up, which was a trophy that you could unlock where I can't remember what the whole details about it was, but you basically save a bunch of people and let the girls die or something, and the achievement pops up with just Bros Before Hose, and they're like, oh my god, it's misogynistic and all this other crap that came up, and it was just like, wow, that is a total horrible idea for a game designer to have an achievement like that or a trophy like that. So yeah, there's been a lot of stuff happening around it, but I don't know, I'm not feeling it.
I'm curious if this is going to be the last kick the can for God of War, if they're still going to try to milk.
That's worse.
I didn't. Yeah, I'm reading that too.
Says you viscerally beat a woman to death, so it must be a boss or something. Is a female? Is that what it is? Oh, we'll let him answer because he's on a 5-second delay, I think.
But yeah, the God of War games have been solid all the way through. Even Chains of Olympus on the PSP was fantastic, probably one of the best games on that platform, and I think it may have run its course. I know there's a massive fan base for God of War. I would like to see a different kind of game in that same universe because the universe is very interesting. Mm-hmm. But like I said, God of War, really not my kind of thing. If it is, you've probably already picked it up. And I don't think Lloyd or my opinion of this game is going to sway you in any way. It's a very watershed game. You either love it or you hate it. So.
That's what it is. You kill a female demon called Fury, and then once you do it, it pops the trophy Bros Before Hose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I the whole thing around that is just stupid to me.
There's always these little things every once in a while in games that are like they're there to test your limit, right? Modern Warfare 2's No Russian level where you basically gun down a bunch of innocent civilians in an airport.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, just the name of a trophy is causing all this crazy stuff online. People going crazy online.
But the internet's all about overreacting.
Oh yeah, find something to focus on as the worst thing ever, and
which we're going to talk about when we talk about SimCity later on in the show. So.
USO's girl said the whaling in Assassin's Creed, the new Assassin's Creed 4.
Oh yeah,
where you have PETA coming out saying you're glorifying the killing of whales. It's like, yeah, if someone plays this game, wants to go out and go whaling, they're going to quickly find out that it's not fun. And
where do I sign up for whaling?
Yeah, it's like they're going to go out, sail in their like canoe and go whaling. Like, come on, but that's PETA. They do stuff to get the press as well.
One of the guys at Ubisoft, they released a really great press statement where they're like, listen, there's way more assassinations in this game than whaling. So if somebody's going to be influenced, I really don't think the game promotes the public assassinations of hierarchy and stuff. It's like that's a good way to kind of bring it down to the level of reality.
That's awesome. All right, moving on. We also had StarCry 2: Heart of Swarm came out on PC and Mac. So
StarCraft 2.
What did I say?
StarCry.
StarCry?
You said that.
Did it really? Oh,
yes,
I was reading NyQuil Dreams. Just typed out Far Cry 3 in the chat room. Wow, that's odd.
StarCry 2.
I'm gonna make a game called StarCry 2, and I'm gonna sell 1 million copies. It's gonna be great. No, StarCraft 2: Heart of the Swarm came out as well. So if you're into StarCraft, you pick it up. I think I've grown past that series.
Yeah, if any Koreans are watching, I'm sure first of all, you're not watching because you're playing that game.
Yeah.
It was like I was reading some of the articles about people who were lined up on Friday night for the Tuesday release, and there was this massive dip in production at work because they're all calling in sick. Not they're all calling in sick, but it's a massive game in that culture. You know, it's huge. I think I talked about it last week where I said it's very much like how Call of Duty is so fanatical in the West. That's what StarCraft is like over there. I mean, they just go crazy for it.
Well, one of my wife's ex-coworkers basically calls professional matches online. In Korean matches and,
nice.
and some of the European thing, and he's flown overseas to call matches, and it's just like, wow, this is such a weird gaming subculture that I do not have any like access to, because I just don't have the dexterity to play that game anymore at a high level.
Yeah, have you ever watched the competitive stuff?
Yeah, I have.
It's very entertaining.
And the matches are either over in a long time or 3 seconds.
Yeah, exactly right.
And
it's like they're either playing a guy like me or a guy like them, and you know they just go on for. And it's day 7 of the StarCraft 2 battle here.
Yeah, it's so bizarre, and all of the main players are all ranked in the number of key presses per second they can do, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah, and they're like big celebrities over there. It's crazy.
I mean, that's the first, like, StarCraft was really the birth of professional gamers, was that game, and it's kind of moved on from there. So, I love the game. I played the original StarCraft so much, or StarCry as I called it apparently, a lot. StarCraft 2 just it's fun against computer multiplayer. I can't. It's just not me.
Yeah, it's a tough hill to climb if you want to get good. You've got to get killed a lot. Exactly. It's also doing pretty well. You know, pretty much 8s across the board. They've had a little bit of trouble with their servers, but they were fixed pretty quickly. You know, Blizzard has so much money into their server and their networking and all that architecture. At this point, they're, you know, obviously a lot faster than EA in fixing stuff. And they're like, oh, there's a couple servers went down. I think it was like 3 hours or something. People were pissed off, but you know, it's not like being away from the game for like 5 or 6 days. So no controversy there.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't get started on servers again.
Moving on, Dead Space 3, The Awakening DLC, which basically adds a bunch of craziness and psychosis to the game, more than it already had. Dead Space 3 is another game on my list of stuff that I have to play. I need to get to it because I love the original Dead Space and Dead Space 2, so I'm definitely going to love this one and want to play the DLC.
Yeah, Dead Space 2 was okay. It wasn't great. They had some like really standout moments, but it felt like the entire game was just like, all right, all we really are trying to do here is shock you as much as possible. Like the opening sequence is insane. The needle in the eye to access your memory is insane.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was insane. And then like there's a couple of sequences at the end where, you know, you can like shoot yourself in the head with this massive like, you know, that, what the hell is it, like a big rail or something that goes through your skull. It's just sick. But the best part of that game is easily some of the most terrifying game I've ever played in like the last known years of me playing, is when you go back to the Ishimura. Yeah. And it's all like, you know, white and sterile and they're cleaning it. That scared the shit out of me. It was so terrifying because that whole ship is insanely scary in the first game. Yeah. And you're so happy to get off of it. And they're like, oh, you got to go back. And it's like, I was just here. God,
I really do not want to set foot on that ever again.
Oh, man.
Running through right now.
Awesome game.
Totally. So yeah, if you want to play the first DLC, that one's made available and is out for you to pick up. Mm-hmm. All right, man, that's it for new releases. Why don't we take a small little music break and then get into the news of the week. It's going to be a shorter show for you guys this week. We usually do 2-hour epics. It's not going to be 2 hours this week. It might be 1 hour and 45 minutes or less. All right, let's take a small little music break and we'll be back in a couple minutes. That's not the track I wanted. So that was an awesome track called 8-Bit Brawl. It's by DJ Cutman. It's from his new album Lost Beats and Found Friends, which just came out. He came back from retirement to release another album, and it's 6 tracks, and it is amazing. I'll post links in the show notes so you can go check it out and pick it up for yourself. Really, really great music.
Yeah, it was a good track.
Awesome, man. Let's get into the news. So we apparently we didn't talk about EA and SimCity enough last week. We didn't solve the internet, Mr. Jeff Ward.
Unfortunately, we did not. We tried.
We tried to solve the internet. We failed at solving the internet. So there's been more furor and more craziness and more whining and more ultimatums and more stupid, like, sign our petition garbage. Yeah, it's SimCity. The whining isn't going away. We had one of the developers come out and talk about it in secrecy. We've had hackers go into the game and access a secret debug mode and turn off the disconnection after phone home timeouts. So he basically played the game for like 4 hours offline, and the game was fine as long as he didn't try to access anybody else's realm. There's all this other stuff, and then you had the SimCity boss that came out and posted a whole bunch of stuff, posted a whole bunch of tweets.
Same one we read from last week.
Yeah,
on the show. And
so why don't you tell some of the crazy things he said, Jeff?
Yeah, well, I mean, when people like this talk, the first thing I always do is kind of go in as blank as possible, right? Like, get all the cynicism out of my brain before I read what they have to say, because sometimes corporate communications are 100% honest and 100% truthful, but they sound so stuffy because that's just how they talk. So I read what she said, and it still kind of pissed me off, but not to the point where I'm like up in arms, but basically I'll paraphrase, but she says, so could we have built a subset offline mode? Yes, but we rejected the idea because it didn't fit with our vision. We did not focus on single city in isolation that we have in past SimCities. We recognize that there are fans who want that, but we're also hearing from thousands of people who are playing across regions, trading, communicating, and loving always connected functionality. That's fine. That's totally fine. And I think the point that you and I were both trying to make last week was, why not give us the option? Is it really all that difficult to say, hey, it's recommended you play this game online to get the full effect of all the features? But, I'm not a developer. I don't know a lot about the development of games, how they do it and what kind of constitutes how things are built. But to me, it doesn't seem like it would be that big of a deal to just make 2 modes where one is offline and one is online.
Yep.
I don't know if maybe it is a really tough thing to do, but you're EA, man. Like, I'm sure you have the people who can do it and just throw it onto a disc. I mean, and that's what we were trying to make last week, and it doesn't seem like they're getting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy. In the chat room, you had NyQuil Dreams saying they messed up, and EA still hasn't said the words "I'm sorry," which is so very true.
Yeah.
I saw some other posts today. There were some tweets that came out, and one that said SimCity isn't a single player game as much as it is an MMO. It's a shared experience, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. That's fine for World of Warcraft. That's fine for a game that's being developed as an MMO. You're taking a game that has always been single player and forcing people to say that it's online without calling it SimCity Online. If it was called SimCity Online, people would expect it to be online. There'd be no complaining other than the server's not working. There wouldn't be complaints that you couldn't play it offline. But I mean,
I'm curious, if you go into GameStop and try to buy this game, will the employees there tell you, hey, you got to be online, connected to the internet at all times to play this?
Because it will cost them a sale potentially.
Yeah, and I wonder, I haven't seen the advertisement on Steam or anything, but I'm curious if anything in that that's kind of bold and in your face says, hey, you got to be online. I mean,
it's
you're
only
on Steam.
On Origin.
Oh, it's only on Origin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's their own social network.
I just realized what I said. If you're on Origin, you're already online. Why would it tell you need to be online? But you know what I mean? It seemed like they kept that from us for a long time. I was really shocked when it came out and it was like, it's only online. I was like, what? You never said anything about this before. Kind of just hey, launch, game's only online, too bad, see you later. We'll kind of see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think the whole thing is stupid. I really want to play the game, but I'm not going to support this insanity.
Yeah, I really want. Tom has been texting me all week because he picked it up, and he has been loving it. He's like, he just can't shut up about it, and I'm like, man, this pisses me off because not only do I want to play it, but I need a new computer for rendering and making videos faster and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, so if I go out and buy a new computer, I can justify the cost by saying, well, it's going to help me do my work faster, and I can play this game. It's like, oh man.
Except it doesn't run on Mac, so you can't
not yet. Yeah. Not yet. Yeah, I'm curious, like, how long are they gonna, like we said last week, spring of this year. That's for another couple of months, I mean, when they haven't actually come up with a firm date yet, although it seems like they're patching bugs daily. So
yeah,
I would really doubt that a Mac release is ready yet.
No, I don't know. This whole thing just sours my mouth. It makes me look forward to what's coming down, or it doesn't make me look forward to it. It makes me look into the future at what's coming down the line about all of these stupid DRM bull crap things that they're going to be pushing on us. And
the DRM thing is so big. And I mean, does this really even... Is it now impossible to pirate this game? Is that what's happened?
No, apparently you can play offline. Hackers have written patches that, or I guess they're not hackers, but I guess they are hackers, but they're not hackers that are trying to steal things. They've written patches that you can run on your PC that basically enable fully offline mode. So if you build something, people are going to pirate it. Like, there's World of Warcraft servers that you can run on your own PC that you can connect to with your client, so you don't have to pay Blizzard your monthly fee. Like, people will pirate something that's good. Not that it's good that they're pirating. That they'll pirate something that is good is what I meant to say. That was an awkward sentence. Like, you're never going to get away with it. But when you're developing a game that obviously has like one point of failure, like if your data center goes down, every person that has the game will have a useless like piece of crap that they can't play. Yeah. Like, that's just a stupid business decision. Like, why would you do that? But I don't know. It's just like every other service that's coming online now, like Microsoft Office 365, like you're accessing Office in the cloud. What if their servers go down? Like, what if your internet is down? People can't access this stuff. Like,
the online only mode, I think is interesting in concept when you talk about it, but you have to have like a fail-safe where it's like, okay, so if you guys screw up on your end, I can still access my important documents, or I can still just play my friggin' game, Even if they came out and were like, okay, unless our servers go down, you're playing online, I think that would kind of make people okay with it. And they're like, okay, that's fine. I can still play the game if you guys screw up.
Yeah.
But if the servers are on, I'm playing online and there's no choice, I think that would be a little bit easier to swallow. It would still suck, but it'd be a little bit easier to swallow.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's just this whole thing. As I said, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth. So we'll see what happens. This isn't going anywhere. People are going to be bitching about this for months and months. It's going to be jokes on gaming podcasts and gaming blogs for years, I'm sure. It'll be like the new Duke Nukem Forever joke that is brought up from time to time. So we'll see what happens. So anyway, moving on.
My ultimate question, actually, just one more thing.
Sure.
Is it EA's fault or is it Maxis' fault? Like, did EA say you're only playing this game online, or did Maxis from the start were like, we've got this great idea, let's run with it? I'm curious.
Like Maxis, the EA has said that Maxis has developed it full on as an online only game. Maxis people have quoted in news articles that that's exactly what they think. I don't know. That's just a stupid thing to think about, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, moving on, Jeff. This will make you happier. Battlefield. You're a big Battlefield fan. You're a big shooter fan.
Not a big fan, but I really love Battlefield 3. It's fantastic. I'm a big shooter fan.
So there's some rumors that Battlefield 4 will be released, or not released, announced soon. There's actually some save the date cards that are being sent out by EA as a teaser.
And I think earlier this month or last month or something like that, I remember reading an article about it. Battlefield 4 was shown to some GameStop employees to kind of get them hyped up and stuff.
Yep.
So I know it's coming. I know that Battlefield 3 was big. I'm really excited for Battlefield 4. They've done 18 months of DLC for Battlefield, and they've been completely different every time, and they've been hit after hit after hit. The last one, what the hell was it? Oh, crap. I can't remember what the last DLC was, but it was a big. It's they say it on Xbox all the time, and I can't remember it. But it was a big piece of DLC. Everybody loved it, and I'm really excited for Battlefield 4. The downside is I'm probably going to be playing by myself because Tom has now moved exclusively to PC when it comes to shooters, and Battlefield is such a better experience on the PC, which kind of sucks. But
Hmm.
you know, Dice is a great developer. They'll make that game play well on everything, but it's going to play the best on PC. But I'm very excited. I think it's going to be cool. We need a new shooter in this world. Call of Duty can't be it forever. As much as I do like it, I want to see something take it down because that's kind of how the industry moves forward. It's like we can really only rehash the same game only a few times before people start getting pissed off. It's unfortunate the Call of Duty fan base, they're like, I hate this game. It sucks. It's the same game as last year. Oh, what that? There's a new one coming out. Okay, fine. Here's
Yeah,
$60.
here, let me pre-order the $100 special edition, full on with like give you all my money. Yeah, it's totally asinine. I don't understand
Yeah,
it.
it's crazy. But that's the entire community. So I'm excited for Battlefield 4. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Well, another four is being teased right now, which is really absolutely surprising to me, and that is Saints Row 4 is being teased. So we all know about THQ and how everybody, like, they went down and they sold off the company and they broke it up into a whole bunch of pieces. Well, Volition bought the franchise, or I guess people bought the company that was making and all of the IP rights. So the first Saints Row game from Deep Silver Volition has been teased. There's going to be some sort of reveal at PAX East, and they're also teasing it on Twitter and Facebook. So it looks like August 20th is going to be the actual release date. So that's not that far in the future. So I guess the game was in pretty far off development for a while. Like must have been
Yeah,
the development must have been started about a year or so ago, maybe more.
I think they started it before Saints Row the Third launched because they knew that the company was in so much trouble. And they're like, the only game we're making money on here is Saints Row. We've got to churn out another one. The trailer for this looked really cool too. Like they've got like weird superpowers or something, but it's this crazy world that's like I love Saints Row. I think it's fantastic. Saints Row 3 is one of the greatest games ever made, and I know that sounds crazy, but when you play it, it's so over the top in every way that it's really hard not to kind of fall in love with that game.
Right.
I'm super excited for Saints Row 4. It's
Yeah.
going to be awesome.
Yeah, it is gonna be really, really, really awesome. I can't wait to check it out. Awesome. Moving on, man. What's next?
Nintendo and their 3D display tech lawsuit.
That's interesting.
Yeah, a little bit. I was surprised that this kind of went in favor of the little guy on this one.
Right. No, I definitely I agree with you there. That is a little bit bizarre. What's even more bizarre, and without getting into like patent craziness or anything like that, basically what the deal with this was is that Nintendo lost a summary judgment on their use of 3D in the 3DS. So Nintendo didn't invent the tech that's used in the 3D effect on the 3DS. They licensed something from I want to say Fuji, but that's probably wrong. I can't remember the name of the company that did it. But they licensed that. So they didn't actually make anything. They didn't create it. They didn't do anything. They just licensed some screen tech from someone else. They're the ones that are being sued, and they're the ones that are having to pay money for it. Like, I don't understand patent law, obviously, as you can hear me talk about it, but how in what world is that like at all fair? Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it
Does
at all.
seem like almost like an open and shut case. Like, oh, here's the evidence. Well, but for some reason, it like again, I don't understand it either. Clearly, I was really shocked when I read that. I was like, really? That? Wow. And then like 30 million bucks too. It's not like they're like, here's a couple 100,000. 30 million it's a lot of money.
It
a
is,
lot of money.
It is definitely a lot of money. So, yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm trying to get our video up and working. Or since we killed your video. So sorry for for being less than I don't know, paying attention to what you're saying. So yes, they were jury awarded them $30.2 million in damages. Apparently, Nintendo was saying that this isn't going to affect any of their future releases of the Nintendo 3DS, but it's money, and Nintendo stock fell because of it. So I just wanted to include this just in case anything comes of it. But yeah, it's interesting.
Definitely
interesting. So that's that. Moving on from that, let's talk a little bit about retro gaming, because I know we both love it. We love a local company that does retro gaming.
We do.
But there's another company that is doing retro gaming as well, and that is Amazon. They are a
strange space for them to get into, don't you think?
It doesn't make sense. They sell new stuff, but apparently they are getting into the whole retro gaming kick as well. So Amazon's opened up a retro gaming store. So if you go to Amazon.com and you go to their retro gaming store, I can give you a link to it in the show notes. They're selling Xbox One games, PlayStation 2, PlayStation, Sega Dreamcast, Game Boy Advance, GameCube, NES, Nintendo 64, all other sorts of classic gaming. It's not actually Amazon necessarily that's selling it; it's their partners. But yeah, they have their own retro store. I was checking it out earlier, and you could buy a box copy of Super Mario Brothers 2 new in box for $150. So it's not going to be cheap either.
No, but I mean, if they're complete in box games, you're kind of paying the going rate anyway. I know a lot of companies go to Amazon and to eBay to kind of find out what the going rate is. But maybe not Amazon, obviously, because they don't sell used stuff. It's just, I mean, like we said, it's a strange kind of space for them to get into. I don't know, like maybe it costs them nothing to get into a new SKU. I mean, they're Amazon. Their warehouses are, big underground, massive warehouses, right? I mean, they're just huge, expansive warehouses. What does it cost for them to open up, a small shed in the back and have, 10,000 retro games in there? Mm-hmm. Probably not a lot. The cost of them doing it obviously is going to be far outweighed by the amount of money they intend to make on it. But it is strange.
Yeah, it is really, really bizarre. But yeah, as Nyquil Dreams in the chat room said, they will sell you dryer lint if it was profitable. So I agree with that. Amazon likes to make money, and this is just another avenue for them to make some money. All right, moving on. There's a new 3DS coming out. If you go, or if you were reading any of the blogs, this was leaked. It was confirmed today or yesterday, I guess it was, that there is going to be a bright yellow. You just saw the live stream.
Sons of bitches.
For people that aren't on the live stream, I've replaced Jeff's picture with an image of Grumpy Cat. So that's where the laughing came from. Sorry, this is kind of inside baseball because people aren't watching the live stream, or people that aren't.
I'll be honest. Extremely accurate picture. It's one of the best pictures I've ever taken.
Awesome. So Nintendo has announced today that they are coming out with a special edition 3DS XL in the US that is going to be yellow, and it's going to have a bright picture of Pikachu on it, which is pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. One weird thing about it is the cameras, the 3D cameras on the front of the 3DS almost make Pikachu look like he has nipples. So it's a really odd placement for the Pikachu picture, but whatever.
It's the Girls Go Wild version of
yes.
of the 3DS XL.
Yeah. The Girls Gone Wild company filed for bankruptcy, but they try to get back into profitability by releasing a 3DS. That makes
strange space for them to be in as well too.
It is kind of strange. But yeah, there's a sale. Target is going to be selling it at launch on March 24th when the system's coming out. That they're going to be selling it for $160, so $40 off its normal retail price.
Solid buy, man.
So $160, you can get yourself a bright and I say bright because it is incredibly bright yellow. It's a yellow and white 3DS XL with Pikachu on it, and I hope this starts the floodgates for customized 3DSs. Just because, you might not love yellow or Pikachu. Japan gets so many special edition consoles that we don't get here in the US or Canada, and a lot of them I'd really love. Like there were some really great Nintendo ones with like designs on it, almost like a Louis Vuitton kind of design with like 1-up mushrooms and things like that. They get all these like really, really awesome limited edition things, and we get like, you have your choice between blue and black, and that's all you get.
Yeah, well, we got that Zelda one, that Zelda DS, and then the Mario Kart one, and that's really all I remember for custom.
Yeah, and more recently we had the Fire Emblem one, but it wasn't even an XL. It was just a normal 3DS, which is just like, what are you doing releasing a normal 3DS with that? So yeah. Anyway, if you're looking for a 3DS XL and you don't own one, or you want to replace one, you can pick up the Pikachu one if you like Pikachu for $160 at launch at Target. And just as a reminder, Nintendo's also offering a promotion where until April 30th, if you buy a 3DS XL and you buy the new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon or Luigi's Mansion, and you register them both online with your Club Nintendo account, you will be able to download 3D Mario Land, Super Mario 3D Land, Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask, Star Fox 64 3D, Freaky Forms Deluxe, or Art Academy. One of those for free as well, as kind of a free bonus. So
it's pretty awesome.
It's a great deal. Save $40 on the console, and you also get another $40 game for free. So there you go. There you go. So check it out.
It's never been a bad time, unless you bought it at launch, and even then it still paid off for you. Never been a bad time to own a 3DS.
Yeah, there's so many good games coming out. I look at the release list, and it's just like, even from Nintendo, there's a whole pile of games coming out that are awesome.
I sit here with my Vita charging behind me, and I'm like, it's never been a good time to own a Vita.
No, Sony has to turn that around. I mean, they just gotta.
I know you want me to keep that thing, but honestly, man, it is becoming hard for me to...
Didn't you own a 3DS and you sold it to buy your Vita?
No, I had a DSi, and that's what
DSi.
I sold it.
Okay, well, that's okay then. DSi was kind of a meh
kind
of thing.
And the only reason I sold it is because Carly had a DS Lite, so I was like, well, I'm not really losing any of my games. I can still keep them, and I can play on her console. So there wasn't like any DSi exclusive thing that I had.
I just know that if you sell it now, you are going to be kicking yourself in like 6 months.
I know, but that's so stupid though, right? It's like...
True. It's going to make for great podcasting. Like, you going off on something else will be awesome.
Yeah.
But I know, as someone that doesn't like to see other people like get upset, it won't be a good thing for you if you do that. So
yeah. I really want to keep it. I really do. But it's tough because for a year, all I've played is Uncharted, Call of Duty, Unit 13, and MLB The Show. You know, other than demos.
Like I said, that's why you got to get a PlayStation Plus account. Like, there's so many awesome games that you can play for free. Then you don't have to buy them, and they're not the latest and greatest that just come out in stores, but they're actually really good games and worth playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So anyway, do that. Pick up a 3DS, not a Vita, because a Vita is not good to own unless you already own one.
We'll let you know when it's a good time to own it. Yeah. You'll probably be the first to know, because we won't be able to talk about anything else. Be like, it's finally time to own a Vita.
Yeah.
It's March 2017.
Yeah. Yeah. Just don't hold your breath, because it might take a while for us to come out and actually say that.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Mojang, they're making lots of money.
A little bit.
They make a little game called Minecraft, which you might have played on everything from your latest and greatest PC to your iPhone, to your Xbox, to your toaster, to your watch.
The toaster version is really strong.
The smart light bulbs you can buy, you can probably play Minecraft on them too.
Yep.
It's great. But anyway, Minecraft, they like to make money, Mojang. Well, they found another way to make money, and that is to sell subscriptions to Minecraft. So you're buying the game for what is it, $50, $40, whatever it is to buy it new.
It's like $45 after the exchange, I think something like that.
Some weird amount. Or you can buy it for $15 on the Xbox. Apparently that's not enough money for Mojang. Not that I'm bitching about Mojang. I really like them as a company. But they're
fantastic.
They're coming out with basically a way of selling servers. So there's already a huge market out there for people that want to buy private servers for Minecraft. Mojang saw that as money that is falling through their fingers, so they're going to be doing it directly in the future. They're just mulling it over right now. They haven't really announced anything, but the biz boss of Mojang, Carl Manna, is told GamesIndustry.blog that since we have 10 million paying PC gamers and soon as many mobile gamers, there's definitely potential. And yes, if we look ahead, I do think Realms, so that's what they're calling it, Minecraft Realms, will be the biggest source of income in the future and bring in more money than the game itself. So he's saying that, yeah, we can nickel and dime our customers that have already ponied up to make us such a big success with more. I don't like that mentality. That's a very Activision/EA mentality. It's accurate, but I didn't think Mojang was that kind of company to really be evil about that. But if they sell a really good service, people are saying that it's great for kids. It's great for...
it's a nice way to kind of keep things safe and maybe appropriate. Like if you wanted to sell this system to schools,
Yep.
although, I mean, they could run the entire thing on LAN and it wouldn't be a problem, but, it's a nice way of kind of buying into a system that isn't, I mean, the thing is, Minecraft isn't plagued with assholes, like you'll have a couple people that'll come into your world and blow stuff up.
I guess, but when you bring kids into the mix, that adds a whole new set of potential problems. Like if I had my kids playing Minecraft, I wouldn't want them playing on public servers, just because who knows what, if someone's going to be building a giant penis beside them and talking them and doing all sorts of weird things. But of course, I wouldn't be letting my kids play online without supervising, because I'm not that kind of parent. There are a lot of parents that are like that, and I mean, that's their business. I don't agree with it, but that's not for me to say if it's right or wrong, right?
Yeah.
But if I could rent a private server and have it for just like VGPodcasts, for example, have the VGPodcast server and not have to buy a server from some kid who is reselling their virtual server that they're paying a few dollars a month for and selling you a chunk of that server. I do it right from Mojang. I don't know what a good value for me would be. I don't think $10 or $15 a month is a good value for me. But who knows? Like maybe they'll have different levels.
Maybe if you also get a legit copy of the full release of the game as well too, then it might be a little bit better. But you're still paying, like, in a year you're going to be paying like $150 at the max point. And I mean, that's a lot of money.
I've owned Minecraft for a while, so I mean that doesn't bother me. But it's just,
I've owned it since like alpha. I paid like $15 for it, I think.
I bought it when it was super cheap, and it wouldn't even run on my hardware.
Really?
So I didn't play it for a while until a couple betas had come by or something like that. But yeah, I mean. Anyway, we don't really need to belabor the point at all. Mojang is coming out with a new way to make money. That's good for them, because I like their games and I'd like to see more games from them. I don't know if the way that they're marketing this is really well done. Maybe they got to work on their marketing a little bit. Maybe their marketing person should market it a little better instead of talking that, we have 10 million paying customers and this is a great way to make more money. That's not a good way to come at this, even though you're talking to a business like blog type thing. I would say that when he said that, and I quote from what he's saying here, Minecraft would become a huge MMO, a really vast universe consisting of very many small worlds. That sounds really interesting to me. I think Minecraft would be a fantastic MMO if you could keep griefing to a minimum, if people couldn't come in and destroy your stuff. It seems like it would be a very expensive and complicated task. I still don't know if I would buy into it, because honestly, if you've ever played Minecraft on a server, if you have like 3 or 4 people, the amount of stuff you can build is insane. Like, you build stuff so quick. Tom and I, just him and me on Xbox, build massive structures in only a few hours, So even playing with like 4 or 5 people, it seems like you're playing with a ton more. So I don't know if it would be... I think it sounds cool, but again, we'd have to kind of see it implemented before I can make a real judgment call. Yeah, it's interesting. I've been talking with some local people here about starting up some private servers for like the local community and stuff like that. And there's a lot of really cool stuff happening in the Minecraft world. I like, honestly, I don't have the time to really devote to that 100%. There's people that do it like 24/7. They're building stuff in Minecraft, and I get that they like the game. Maybe something like Realms would help out, something like that, because we could just know that the server's always gonna be running because a reputable company is running it and stuff like that. But anyway, I wanted to bring it up on the show just because it is an interesting topic, and it's kind of maybe a little bit of an evil turn that Mojang's making. So we'll see how that goes as well.
Evil's a strong word, but I can see where like you're like, oh, that because they've been so like this angelic light from the Netherlands, right? And they're like, oh man, this is like a gaming company that like made a game, or one guy that made a huge game, and now it's the biggest thing, in PC gaming, or one of the biggest things, and he's like massively rich, and hired a bunch of people and very successful, and now they're like, we're capitalism and all that kind of stuff, which is fine. I totally get it.
Yeah,
you brought up a good point though, which I didn't think about, is it might be difficult for a lot of people to kind of figure out how to make a server, right? And they're like, well, okay, you just give us $10 a month and we'll do it for you, and it'll always work. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. I like it. It's just the message that came across in that interview was just like, what? You're being evil EA corporate type people. I don't like that from your independent company. So
like he was like sitting in a big chair, like with all his fingertips touching, and he's like, lighting
a cigar with $100 bills. Exactly. Yeah, that's right. All right,
whatever
moving on.
Money is in the Netherlands.
Well, do you want to, since you said Mojang's not evil, and I agree with that, they're not evil. Do you want to talk about real evil?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about real evil.
Let's talk about some true evil. Yeah. And that is the new Black Ops DLC.
Yes. Okay, so...
Is it DLC? Can you really call it DLC? Or can you tell it...
You really can't. This is just... this is just garbage.
They're basically allowing you to pay microtransactions in Call of Duty Black Ops 2 to personalize things. So you can have like a purple leopard print weapon if you want. You can buy all sorts of other weird, ugly, stupid things that I would not want to see running around in my game. Yeah. And they're doing it as microtransactions. So I can just imagine what Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is going to be like everything. Do you want to walk? That's a microtransaction. Do you want to be able to see out of, or do you want your helmet's down over your eyes? Do you want to push your helmet up? Microtransaction.
That would be so funny. Be like, do you want to fire a weapon? Give us 800 Microsoft points. Like, oh my god! Every time I kill someone, it's costing me $10.
Exactly. I don't like microtransactions, especially when I'm paying $60 for a game. Microtransactions on a freemium title. Yep. Sure, yep. I'm there. I will throw money at you.
Yeah, that's something we've talked about all the time. If the game is free, if you want to microtransact it, absolutely. You got to make your money somewhere.
When I'm spending $60 on a title or more, if I'm buying the DLC, all the DLC, or all the other crazy stuff that come along with it, I shouldn't then be forced to pay. Well, not that you're really forced to do it, but there shouldn't even be an option for this in it. It's like you've made a crap ton of money. You don't need to make more money off this one title. Release another game.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, Lloyd, your opinion has lined up with basically every single person who plays Call of Duty and thinks that this is a ripoff. Although I've already seen in game way too many people running these camos. So here's the deal. You buy the game, $60, right? You get the disc. When you unlock a new gun and you level that gun up and you do certain challenges like headshots and all that kind of stuff, you unlock certain gun camos. And there's like 15 or 20 different camos per gun, and then a couple of secret ones.
Sure.
The diamond camo is really cool, the gold. There's a couple of cool designs like Cherry Blossom is really cool. Anyway, they've released 9 unique packs, personalization packs for your gun. Each of them cost 160 Microsoft points. Each. So if you want the bacon camo, 160 Microsoft points. If you want
looking at that, it looks horrible.
Yeah, if you want the party rock camo,
I like Benjamins.
Yeah, that's all money. That's kind of cool.
Young money, cash money, billionaires.
Which I think is like really ironic that they're like, you're paying for, a paint job on your gun that's money. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, each of them are 160 Microsoft points. Everybody's kind of pissed off about it, although lots of people have bought it. It's ridiculous. It's way too expensive for something that is... They're all ugly. They're all really ugly. And then as you go down and see what else is going on here, the Nuketown 2025 map is now free. Everyone gets it, which until this week was exclusive to the people who pre-ordered the game.
Right.
So if you went out to GameStop and pre-ordered the game, like, I'm going to get Nuketown 2025 because I pre-ordered. You did. You got it. Cool. They only played it for like the first 4 weeks of launch, and then they got rid of it. And they're like, well, it was only a limited time, even though it didn't say that anywhere. And they're like, okay, we'll bring it back in its own special playlist,
Right.
where it rotates in with other maps as well, so you can't play it 24/7, which really sucked. Now everyone gets it for free, so it's like, well, screw you people who, got it early. It's too bad. They also now have extra slot packs, which you can buy for 160 Microsoft points each.
Right.
You can have now 10 sets of 5 slots. So you can have, like, basically 40, or I can't remember, like, it's like 50 friggin' create a class for all of your different classes that you want to play. Each of them cost 160 Microsoft points. They've got now Flags of the World calling cards, which is just this stupid banner that goes on your player card. They're each 80 Microsoft points. And the Nuketown Zombies map, which was a premium exclusive to only the people who bought the season pass for DLC, it's now available for everybody for 400 Microsoft points, which is $5. Not really expensive, but still ridiculous. The reason why this is such a stupid idea and a real kind of slap in the face is that if you bought the game for $60, in every copy of the game, there's a little piece of paper that says, hey, we're coming out with a bunch of DLC. If you want, you can buy the season pass for $40 or $50, I think. It's like $10 less the price of the game. You get all of the DLC, and you get 1 pack for free. Everything that's DLC, you will get. And we're like, okay, so a bunch of people bought that. I still haven't yet because I don't think I want the DLC. And now they're coming out with all this DLC that you now have to pay for on top of paying for other stuff. So if you actually went and bought all of the stuff, everything that you'd be paying more than the price of the actual game, which is ridiculous.
Oh, that's amazing.
This is the first time that Call of Duty has had microtransactions inside. Again, they really don't do anything to affect the play of the game, so it's not like people can pay to get better at it or anything like that.
Right.
We talked about this, like, I think when we were doing These Dudes on Games, Battlefield 3, they released DLC where it's like, well, we'll give you all the guns and all the attachments and all that kind of stuff, so you don't have to grind to get it if you want to pay us like $65. They haven't done that yet here in Black Ops, and even if they did, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because, like you said earlier in the show, the guns in Black Ops are actually, in all Call of Duties, are very well balanced, that even if you're just starting a new Prestige or you just started the game, a lot of your guns do the same amount of damage as other ones you unlock later. They just look different, they act different, that kind of thing. So it's a real slap in the face. It's ridiculous, but again, nobody's forcing you to buy it. So
I never. Sorry to cut you off.
That's fine.
I was gonna say I never really thought about that whole season pass thing and how those people must be even more pissed off.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh yeah, it just deal, like, I don't know, microtransactions in a game that you're paying $60 for. Like, come on.
Especially when it's all useless stuff, too.
Give me a break. Oh, it's just so stupid. Again, this an EA SimCity's problem. Like, there's just so many things going on, which is like, we're going to have another, like, video game crash. And people are going to be burying copies of Black Ops 3 in the desert somewhere. Like, it really makes me sort of panic a little bit about where the industry's headed.
The bad thing that I see isn't the fact that they're doing it. It's the fact that we allow them as gamers to do it, right?
The fact that people are paying for it.
Yeah, we have all the power, and yet we refuse to actually use that power for something, right? Every once in a while, we use it on the stupidest things. Oh, a Mass Effect 3 ending sucked, like, I'm going to cry about it forever and send cupcakes to BioWare.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of the house and live your life. It wasn't that bad. You didn't write it. Stop saying you could do better. On stuff like this, where it's like we're legitimately being ripped off, nobody does anything. It's like, damn it, like, this is the thing, or something else.
It goes back to avatar items, like people that were buying new shirts and helmets and things. It's like, why are you wasting your Microsoft points on little, like, things for your virtual thing? It was like if you bought a Tamagotchi that had a coin slot on it, and every time you wanted to do something in Tamagotchi, you're putting another quarter into it. It's like, you bought the thing. Like, why do you keep spending more money?
Where are all these quarters going? The thing is so small.
Oh, it goes right into my pocket.
Yeah.
That's
Tom
great.
had told me that, like, oh yeah, I bought, some skin packs for my
Oh,
avatar on Xbox Live, and I'm like, you're the
oh.
dumbest human being alive,
It's
you
like the people that
idiot.
bought horse armor for the original like Oblivion. It's like
Yeah,
what all it is a skin for your horse. Yeah, but it
yeah,
looks cool. Well, yeah, it looks cool and it costs you $1.50, so you're
yeah.
an idiot.
Like his and it's a pretty good excuse, but it's still a stupid excuse. Like, well, I only had a few points left, and what else can I buy? I'm like,
You
just don't buy anything and save up your
yeah,
points.
yeah,
Like, don't be an asshole.
refill your point collection and buy something
Christ.
and
You
then
know,
use that some other time. Yeah, I don't get it. I never I have some avatar items on my avatar on 360 and it's only things that I won from contests or got as like
yeah,
free unlocks.
me
But
too.
I see people, or I used to when I was using my Xbox every single day and it was on all the time, people that would change their clothes every day.
Yeah,
That's
what you have time to like go in there? You like it takes a half hour to change your clothes and
I
then get
just
out
don't
and
get it.
save it.
I don't get it. Oh
You know,
my
and
goodness.
as much as I love Microsoft's Xbox and I love Xbox Live, and I gladly pay my $60 every year for gold, that shit pisses me off. Where I'm like, I can't believe people are spending money on this crap.
Yep.
And every few months, it gets pushed right to the front screen where it's like there's this big ad. It's like, hey, new something out for your stupid avatar that nobody cares about. It's like, my God.
And Trevor in the chat room, don't get me started on PlayStation Home because I can go
Oh,
off on that, but I'm not
Trevor
going to.
Sony Forever loves PlayStation Home. That's his second home is
Oh,
PlayStation.
that's his first home. It's
It's his
because it's his happy home. I don't know. That doesn't
You can
even
put
make sense.
furniture everywhere.
All right, well, that's gonna about do it for this episode of the bonus stage. As I said, it's not as long as usual. Let us know what you think in the show notes or in the comment section on the actual post. What you think of the show? Head on over to VGPodcasts.com. Let us know there. You can email us directly at VGPodcasts@gmail.com or call our voicemail line, which is area code 505 VG Podcasts. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm Dasme on Twitter, DASME. Jeff, Mr. Grumpy Cat, on the official podcast Grumpy Cat
Grumpy Cat
is
on Twitter.
is at Jeff A Ward. Dot grumpy cat dot grumble grumble, and yeah, let us know what you think of the show. Follow us on Twitter, chat with us, and let us know what you think. All right, man. I think
Pretty
that's
much it, eh?
I think
Yeah.
that's it. Do you have-
Was it a short show? We got like an hour and a half here, but I think the show only ran an hour. We talked for a half hour before we started.
Yeah, I think we only did like half the show that we did last week.
That's okay. We'll probably come back next week with like a 3-hour epic.
Yeah.
By the way, in the chat room, they've been saying, is it USO's girl? I guess she's saying new
US
section for the bonus stage,
us,
rant
us,
time.
Us Oz.
USO's girl. I think USOs.
USOs, like UFOs, but USOs.
Or maybe like the USO show for like the military. Maybe
could
she's
be.
military.
Could be. Let's.
Maybe she's just a big fan.
So we're gonna have US Oz girl. Oh yeah, that's right, because she's from Australia originally.
Oh,
Aussie. Is that right? Is that right?
we just spent the last
So
3 minutes of
new
the show
new
sounding
section.
like idiots.
Yeah, so I was right. Australia. Good. So yeah, new section, rant time. The other section, deconstruct people's names in the chat room.
Yeah.
That's great. That would
We
be
both
awesome.
sound like we're illiterate now. We're like, USO's girl, USO's girl. Maybe she's in the military. Like, holy Christ.
Yeah, maybe she's maybe she believes in UFOs, but she didn't want to say that outright, so she said USO instead of UFO.
Thank you for joining us on the dumbest podcast on the internet.
The bonus stage, guys. Talk to you next week. Have a good one, and join us every Friday night at 10 p.m. Central Time at vgpodcast.com/live, and don't forget to go out and buy your Star Cry. Later, guys.
See ya.
Let's get started.